Welcome to the Call Your Shot podcast, your weekly sports recap podcast where we break down the hottest headlines, dissect the latest injuries, and serve up our own hard-hitting analysis of the past week in sports. But that's not all. We're not just here to talk about the past, we're here to predict the future as well. On the Call Your Shot podcast, we boldly predict the outcomes of the upcoming week's games.
Hopping into the NBA, not exactly too much to get into. A few things have changed. Boston Celtics still remain is an elite team, number one in the Eastern Conference. The Orlando Magic have been a surprise lately. They are currently on a 5-game win streak, 7-3 over the past 10 games, and are sitting firmly in tied for second place in the division with the Bucks, Miami, and Philadelphia. So basically very top heavy as of right now when it comes to the Eastern Conference. If you wanted to touch on anything from the East.
I mean, not really much to get into, but I guess the main thing would be just my boy still out there balling. Ausar Thompson. Well, him too, but Ausar Thompson, still hooping like no one else out there, but still not getting any of the love. But today, Draymond Green did
games.
Well, okay, you can't
2-13.
You can't be Michael Jordan, all right?
Okay, well, I understand that, but like
he's doing what he can. Okay.
He's third in Rookie of the Year voting right now.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, Draymond Green gave him a shout out today, basically saying like what he's doing is unprecedented compared to the other rookies out here, and he should be getting more attention, and because not enough people are talking about his performances, especially averaging 10 boards at 6'6", like that's ridiculous. It's basically like the round mound of rebound.
I'm a 6'6" big, back in the day, literally.
So, exactly. But yeah, I mean, also my boy Tyrese Maxey. We called it the first day that we did the NBA. Like, I don't want to say just lock up the award to give him most improved player, but I mean, like, it's definitely looking pretty nice right now. Like,
when it comes to picks, whether it be Rookie of the Year, it's going to be back and forth between Chet and Wembanyama. It seems like at this point, and MVP could go anywhere, Luka, Jokic, whatever. But like when it comes to awards, I feel like that would probably be the heavy favorite as of right now. I think they were doing a mic'd up with the Cleveland Cavaliers and Darius Garland was like, let me get some of that. And give me some of that juice because he's like, you're playing too crazy right now. So Tyrese Maxey has been playing great. In the Western Conference, the Minnesota Timberwolves still are number one right now at 11-3. So they've been playing great basketball behind Anthony Edwards, and their defense, they've really locked in there. And the OKC Thunder have been really surprising. And it was a team that I had in the play-in and a team that I thought that could make the playoffs. But I still thought that they would probably be a year away just because of Chet Holmgren not being able to play last year with the injury and all those things. And I didn't know how it was going to work with the lineup with Shea and everybody, but it's honestly looked great. And currently as a team right now, they are shooting 50, 40, 90, which is ridiculous. You got Chet swapping it from deep. You got Isaiah Joe. You got Shea Gilgeous-Alexander still playing well. Williams, Giddey, and they're a great team. Very fun and entertaining team to watch. Probably my favorite team to watch right now. And as I mentioned, Chet currently is number one in Rookie of the Year voting and rankings. So any thoughts on the Thunder so far?
Well, in terms of Chet being the front runner, I get it. But I'm still
and he's on a winning team.
Yeah, which helps for sure. There's a lot that goes behind the narrative and stuff too. So he has a lot of hype coming behind him, and he has been playing well. But I mean, the way that people were talking about Wembanyama, it's hard to see a world where the voters just don't fall in love with him and just oh my God, did you see that 3 that he just did? Oh, did you see that dunk that he had from the free throw line? Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, it's hard to see anybody else outside of him winning this award. There's always my boy, Scoot coming out there.
No, he's currently in the G League right now.
Hey, he's coming back from injury today. He's playing tonight.
Fair enough.
So, Side note, real quick. Fun fact: Scoot Henderson currently has the lowest PER of all qualified players right now.
Yep, he's
So
been in the
that
conversation of him and like Killian Hayes on the Detroit Pistons, and that's not great company you want to be with right now. So
yeah.
I agree with you with
Also,
the Rookie of the Year voting though, with Chet and Victor Wembanyama, and that's what I was saying. Like I think Victor Wembanyama is going to win Rookie of the Year, but just and along with the fact that the media is going to fall in love with him, but like he is the guy. Obviously, you have Vassell on the Spurs, but like he's going to be the guy. He's going to get tons of touches each and every night. Meanwhile, Chet is probably like the third option on the OKC team, and he's super efficient, and he has similar stats to Victor Wembanyama, and his team is winning. So, I mean,
mhm,
and like he has some decent hype from himself as well. So,
mhm. One other player to shout out is actually a player that was drafted by the Thunder, um, Sengun, my
I love
boy.
Shingun.
Yep. So he's currently averaging 20.9 points a game, 8.8 rebounds, 5.7 assists, and
Baby
shooting
Nurkic.
58.8%. Like, and he's currently ranked 16th per the Hollinger ratings, so which are essentially like the Ken Palm of the NBA, or like the basically the end all be all when it comes to
Mhm.
ratings for player efficiencies and stuff like that. And he's ranked 16th right now in the league, and I mean, and it looks every bit of that too, if not more. Especially how he was just given the business to the to the Lakers the other night.
Hey
Um,
man, well there.
eh,
No. He
you
was.
tell
He
me he
was.
was?
He was.
Yes, I was like,
Him and Dylan Brooks out here hitting all these three. Like Dylan Brooks is shooting like 50% from three this season. I'm like, bro, what
that was
is
gross.
happening? But yeah, I do love Alfred Sengun. He's been playing great and is probably the one of my favorite, if not the best, like young big man in the league right now. They were doing
Mhm.
a graphic on him and his stats compared to, because this is his third season. His stats compared to Jokic's third season, they're basically identical. He has a slightly lower rebounds, mainly just because they kind of play him outside a little bit. He can shoot the three, or he plays some high pick and roll action. And but his points are higher, his assists are about the same, and he has better field goal percentage right now. So I think he's a great
Mhm.
piece for the Rockets, and probably one of the core pieces that they're going to have, along with obviously the veteran pieces that they brought in with Fred VanVleet and Dylan Brooks. And last time we spoke last week, the Rockets were on a win streak. Now it's kind of a little bit up and down, but they're still 7-3 over the last 10 games. So they're still very solidly in the play-in right now. Currently, they are ranked 8th, just behind the Phoenix Suns, who are playing much better this season, or much better so far on a 4-game win streak, but have been confirmed that they are going to be without Bradley Beal for at least the next 3 weeks to a month, as basically he re-aggravated his back. So it's basically going to be the KD Devin Booker show when Devin Booker isn't hurt. So, but basically the KD show. KD's shooting like 60% from three or 50% from three. It is ridiculous.
Yes,
So,
that's crazy. But it's one thing that I think has kind of been interesting. One of the narratives, at least, is what the tournament has meant to these teams,
mm-hmm,
because you're getting out exactly what you had hoped if you're the NBA, and that's
mm-hmm.
higher levels of competition. I mean, you're also getting the other end of the spectrum too, with what was it, the Hawks against the Pacers last night. The
Yeah.
the the total in that game, it opened up at 251 points.
Like the
Um,
highest total since like the 1990s or some shit.
yeah, and the game and that still wasn't high enough. I'm so
Yep.
glad that I was not tempted by the under. I was like 251. Like I have to
Yep.
take the over in this game. Like there's no way.
Halliburton said,
And
"Hold my beer." It's crazy.
legit, I'm mad because I was thinking about this too. I was like, if you're gonna have a total that high, you might as well take the over in just about everybody's props, because like they're at least scoring wise. Because
Mm-hmm.
if you're gonna get to that amount of points, then like somebody's got to do something, right?
Yeah,
The points are gonna come from
definitely.
somewhere.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Pacers ended up winning last night, 157 to 152. So, which is just just a normal casual game.
Yep. Gotta
Um,
love the NBA, man.
mhm.
I think the playing, as you mentioned, I think the playing tournament is very good for the NBA. At least it has been for the first, 15, 16 games in. Who's currently has the best record for the playing tournament. or in-season tournament right now. Lakers sitting at 4-0 in the West Conference, in case anybody was wondering.
I
But
think
yeah,
it's
no.
because that they know that they can't win the actual championship.
Hey. You watch it. But no, I think it has been great. And, you kind of hear the prizes in the preseason, stuff like that. They're like, okay, what's $500,000 to these guys that are making millions of dollars, stuff like that. But you think about that, those are like the elite star players. And, there's veteran minimums that are you making like 10 to 12 million dollars, but like it's $500,000 to every single player. So that goes 15 players deep.
Mhm.
So, you kind of have those people 13th, 14th, 15th man, and they're on two-way contracts and things like that. Like they're not making millions of dollars. They're like just trying to make it in the NBA or floating between the NBA and the G League and stuff like that. So I think it was Dame and Steph Curry that were kind of talking about that from that perspective. They're like, $500,000, that changes their life, changes their family's lives, and, would change most people's lives. So along with that and the coaching staff, I think it is a great thing for the NBA as of right now. And, when the Lakers win it, I think that we're going to bring it back next year. And along, how does that make us back-to-back champions if we win the in-season tournament and the NBA finals? I'm just curious.
I mean, I guess you're winning something, right? So,
Yep.
I mean, sure.
Lakers have a strong. They're playing the Dallas Mavericks in a very good matchup game. Currently, the Lakers sit fifth. The Dallas Mavericks sit fourth. Lakers on a little 3-game win streak, and they've been playing very well. I don't know what LeBron has been drinking over the past offseason or what, but like he's even better. Like I don't know. He's been on something, and his shooting percentages have been insane. So
and also like him and Durant and all these older players too.
Curry.
We're like, okay, yeah, like they're like, okay, well, this is like a typical rest game for these players, and then they're out here. What are you talking about rest? We don't do that.
Even Kawhi and PG are playing games and these back-to-backs and stuff. I'm like, okay, I like this NBA. I like what's going on right now.
Yeah, so I mean, I think this is as great as start of a season as oh my god, I think I'm having a stroke. Whoa. Okay.
It's the greatest start to the season as we could have asked for.
Thank you. Jesus. But yeah,
I'm having a stroke.
Legit, did you hear? Oh my god, what the?
I heard it. It hurt me.
Jeez.
Yeah. I can get you some life alert for Christmas.
Oh, for real. I got my Apple Watch here, so I can press it if I need it. But as I was trying to say, this is as good of a start to the season as I think we could have hoped for, especially if you're in at the front office of an NBA team and stuff too, implementing these new rules where load management and stuff like that, where you're requiring players to actually play, if not the full game, at least some of the game, and then have them rest during the game and not just having them take off the whole game. And I think it's been great for competition, and it's also been great in the sense that you kind of have a general sense of, okay, this is a home game that they're second out of a back-to-back. You might lean a little bit more towards the player actually not sitting out. But then an interesting thing that LeBron was saying, and KD had also said too, is that these players, whenever it comes to playing against like their friends or playing against like another elite opponent, those are the games that they, even if it might be the second out of a back-to-back, those are the games that they get up for. And even the other night, Devin Booker, after DeAndre Ayton was played against them, he was like, yeah, Ayton played hard last night. Now he should do that every night.
He's a little bit more consistent with that. He dropped 18 and 7 too. Like, I mean, I don't know, much dominating as they were talking about when he came to Portland and he was going to be free and all this stuff with Phoenix not locking Monty Williams and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I don't know. He kind of seems like he's a very, I don't know. He could have been much better. I think that's all I gotta say.
And I mean, Nurk said it himself too. Well, that too. Yeah, Nurkic said it himself too. Like he chose to come to the Suns, not because he wanted to be a focal point of the offense, but because he wanted to just be a piece out of the whole pie.
So I want to win.
Exactly, like because he knew he's not going to have like a giant role on offense, and he knows that that's not his place on this team. And so he was okay with taking a back seat and just doing the dirty things and doing the dirty work, is the way he put it. And that's something that Ayton was not down to do, and that's ultimately why I don't think that he's going to be all that successful in his career in terms of winning any championships or anything like that if he's not going to play hard. And I mean, you see that now he's on the Blazers, so they're not going to go anywhere anytime soon. So saying that, you know, I'm glad that I made a bet on the Blazers tonight because they're currently mollywopping the Jazz right now, and my boy Scoot out there doing what he does, just getting buckets as he should. It's not too late to hop in on the MVP Rookie of the Year train if you so please.
If you bought into Scoot right now, you probably would be a millionaire if you cashed in on that. So, if you got some pennies around or in the couch or something like that, you could turn those into millions.
He currently has it's halftime, all right, and he has 2 points on 1 of 6 shooting, 0 of 2 from 3. But he has a rebound. Okay, and he has 2 assists.
Yeah.
Yep.
He's at 0.4.
But his plus minus is +6. I mean, what more can you ask for from a guy? You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a team player if I've ever heard one.
Yep.
So
Exactly.
very early. Trade deadline's not till February 8th, but everybody's always going to start talking. I think you mentioned this early when we started with the NBA season. The Bulls and Zach LaVine, DeMar DeRozan, and stuff like that. So those are kind of some high commodity pieces, and Alex Caruso, some high commodity pieces that are being talked around, floating around when it comes to the trade deadline. Obviously, good teams like even the Suns have talked about it. The Lakers, obviously, because everybody gets associated with the Lakers somehow, some way. The Kings have shown interest in Zach LaVine and things of that nature. So it is a very high likely possibility that Zach or Alex Caruso do get moved by the trade deadline from the Chicago Bulls. So that was interesting. Also, go ahead.
I was gonna say, from what I've been reading, is that there's not a lot of interest in Zach LaVine, which is kind of interesting to me.
Very injury prone.
Well, that, but then also I think it's a lot to do with his contract. He has a massive contract that nobody wants to take on, and throughout his history in the NBA, he hasn't really been known to be a winner. But he's definitely a valuable asset to have on the team, especially because he's just a bucket getter. You know what I mean? You can always find a spot for somebody that just can hoop. Granted, he doesn't play that much defense, but he
needs it.
He's not like Jordan Poole level, so where he just literally is a detriment out there. But what were you gonna say?
Marjan Beauchamp is my cousin. From Yakima, plays for the Milwaukee Bucks. He works with Adidas. Him and Adidas ended up sponsoring our local YVC basketball team. So we ended up getting the gear a couple weeks ago. So I just wanted to say thank you and appreciate that from him and Adidas. But yeah, they decked us out, got the sweats, the jackets, home and away travel, got some Dame Dollar shoes, home and away uniforms, as well as backpacks and things like that for the guys. So they were really excited about that. So that was some great gear. So I just want to say appreciate that. That was pretty cool. I don't think I had a chance to tell you about that.
Yeah, no, that's super dope though. Hopefully, if Adidas is listening right now, they can also shoot us a little sponsor. I mean, even though I'm wearing this, Nike shirt right here, we can swap.
I got some New Balance on right now. Got some Nike.
Hey, while I do love Nike, I also used to work for Adidas, and I'm loyal to whoever is willing to sponsor me. So I mean, whether it's New Balance, whether it's
Drew's always been known to be a glorified
Asics,
team hopper, regardless. So it's
okay, whatever.
Sounds about
whatever.
Right. Anything else that you wanted to touch on in the NBA before we hop out of here?
Yeah, actually, with the Jazz, so they've actually been playing pretty well as of late, which is
blown out last night.
I mean, okay, let me rephrase that. They've been playing.
Got lost by 40.
Okay. Other than that, yeah, they've been keeping the games respectable. Other than that game.
Yeah, they played the Suns tough in the back-to-back.
Yep, exactly. So like both of those games, like I always say, good teams win, great teams cover. So they've been able to keep the games close enough to where they're at least covering the spread. God damn it.
Wasn't there like arguable
uh,
call in that game too? In like the double overtime game, like Lauri Markkanen had a chance
yeah.
to like tie it up, and like KD fouled
Mhm.
him. They reviewed it. They're like, oh, he got a minute part of the ball before he dislocated his
Like
wrist.
basically, yeah, that and then like undercut the hell out of him like Zaza
Yeah.
Pachulia style too. Yeah. Um, like, it was pretty bad, honestly, if you watch the replay. But yeah, okay. One other thing too is Keyonte George has also been like hooping ever since Walker Kessler. I hate his name. It's like you have
Walker
two last
Kessler.
names. Like, what do you? Yeah.
Walker,
Like,
Texas Ranger.
anyways, exactly. You never trust somebody with two last names. Moral of the story is, Keyonte George has been, thrust into this role of the point guard position, and I don't know if you watched him play recently, but some of the dimes that he's dropping out here are just like absolutely beautiful.
I think he said he
That
leads the
being
rookies
said,
in assists. He's been playing very well.
yeah, yeah, he currently he's tied for first right now amongst rookies with 5.1 assists right now, and along with that is the downside of having him on the court is that he's also shooting about 35.7% from the field, but other than his poor shooting performance, he has been like the main success story in the offense. From what I've been reading from their beat reporters, is that when he's on the court, you can kind of tell that the offense just flows a lot better because he's a much better playmaker than literally anybody else that they have to offer out there. And especially like Jordan Clarkson, like he's a scorer, he's a bucket getter. Like I said, they're always good to have on your team. But in terms
Collin
of
Sexton off the bench.
yeah, and he's more of just like a defensive guy, and not even really a defensive guy, just kind of a ugly dude to look at. And so it's kind of
he's the energy guy.
yeah. And anytime you got to say that somebody's an energy guy, it means that they're not very good.
Okay.
Am I wrong? Oh, he's a real hustle guy. He's an energy guy.
He used to be very good. He used to be good on the Cavs.
Yeah,
he was a scorer and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So with Keyonte George and everything, him actually being a playmaker has been able to help the team, at least keep the games closer and be more competitive and have a better offense overall, as opposed to before when they were just kind of doing, I don't know, just pass it around the arc and then hope for somebody to get open kind of offense. And so it was very stagnant before, but now it's kind of flowing a little bit. Only thing you got to work on is just actually making shots, which is a major point.
Facts. That's
got a little bit of Rondo into him.
Right. We're working on it. We're working a little Scoot Henderson to him, Just,
okay.
Unless you got anything else, I think that's going to wrap it up for today. We ended up going an hour and a half. So anything else that you wanted to touch on?
No, I think that's pretty much it. Like I said, we're gonna have a link to our Discord channel, and that's where we'll be posting some of our plays as well as the updated plays as well. And assuming again, like there's no crazy broken arms or anything like that, we'll just stay true to those plays and then kind of go from there. And I am easing back into these props and everything too. Yep. Also, if Hall of Fame Bets would like to sponsor this podcast, that would be greatly appreciated. They are not necessarily a prop service, but they show a breakdown of each game by game, how many times that player's gone over their props, if they've ever gone over that prop in past 10 games, 5 games, whatever. And they also do the same thing with team totals and also basically just literally everything. So that is one thing I'm going to be using going forward, along with my own model that I used as well. And I wish I could remember his name, but the book that I've been reading over time it's Excel like sports. I'll add it down below.
So we'll
But
put it down
basically,
below.
yeah, the dude that wrote that book, he's basically the end all be all when it comes to sports betting models. And he's basically the main guy that I've learned from in the majority of the models that I have. And if I didn't learn it from him, then I picked it up from Josh Applebaum and his book. So yeah,
Some of my mentors.
absolutely. They're my mentors that don't even know they're my mentors. So.
Well, that's going to wrap up this episode, everybody. This has been the College Shop Podcast. The host, Alex Harrison Drew Moore. Hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. Safe travels to any of you guys traveling far. Again, we'll
Or
on
even traveling
podcast.
close.
Or even traveling close, walking, just stay safe out there.
Just around the block,
As mentioned before, you can find this wherever you can find your podcast, whether it be podcast app or Spotify. We are also on YouTube for those of you watching us there. Check our links in the bottom of the description to get our links to our social media, as we do have my little dog coming here to say hi to everybody. So, yeah, if you like this podcast, give it a like, follow, comment, share. Anything else, Drew?
No, that's pretty much it. Make sure you download as well. That's what helps the channel grow. And if you are wanting to sponsor this podcast, feel free. Reach out. Let us know. As long as it's not anything weird. Yeah.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody. We will see you on Wednesday.
Peace.